is Jigoro Kano, the founder of the Kodokan Judo. Professor Jigoro Kano learned the traditional Japanese martial art, jujutsu, and he transformed it into something new, with an objective and practicing methods appropriate to the new era. In 1882, he named it Kodokan Judo. Judo, which is practiced around the world, is in fact Kodokan Judo. Judo, which Professor Kano promoted with all his might for some 50 years, later became widespread and eagerly pursued in over 150 nations of the world, eventually achieving recognition as an Olympic event. Techniques of Judo can be divided into three kinds: NAGE WAZA, Katame WAZA, and Atemi WAZA, and there are two ways of practice: Dandori and Kata. NAGE WAZA can be divided into Tachi WAZA and Stimi WAZA. For each technique, let us now show you the basics and applications, as well as differences between techniques which look alike. Seoi Nage. There are two types of Seoi Nage: Morote Seoi Nage and Ippon Seoi Nage. The hands are used differently when lifting your opponent. This is Morote Seoi Nage. Put your right elbow underneath the side of your opponent's body as you lift him. You grasp one side of your opponent's collar and sleeve. The technique used in throwing him is an application of Morote Seoi Nage. This is Ippon Seoi Nage. You hold and control one of the arms of your opponent as you lift and throw him. Seoi Nage with your arm turned. In Ippon Seoi Nage, you sometimes extend one of your legs wide to the outside of your opponent's right leg. Morote Seoi Nage, executed with a leg extended wide to the outside. This technique is an application of Seoi Nage and is not Taiotoshi. Ippon Seoi Nage. You throw your opponent by turning him over on top of you. This is Ippon Seoi Nage, executed by grasping your opponent's left arm. The key is to control your opponent's left arm by winding it in under the side of your body. Now let's look at various Seoi Nage from different contests. Yusuke Yamamoto, the 1987 world champion in the 65 kilogram class. Seoi Nage executed by Sumio Endo, a former world champion in the heavyweight class. It's his favorite technique. A beautiful Ippon Seoi Nage executed by Masao Takahashi at a world championships. At the Kano Cup International Tournament, Toshiko Koga shows off his favorite technique, Ippon Seoi. Seoi Otoshi. Seoi otoshi is a throwing technique where you take your opponent on your back and pull him straight down. As you throw, you can do so either with one knee or both knees on the floor. Seoi otoshi, moving from an ippon seoi nage position. In seoi nage, you throw your opponent by lifting him over, but in seoi otoshi, you throw him by pulling him down over you. Seoi otoshi on both knees. Whether it's seoi nage or seoi otoshi is decided by whether your opponent was lifted or pulled over. This is seoi nage with both knees on the floor. We judge so because after going down on both knees, the throw was made by raising the hip and hoisting the opponent's frame. Seoi otoshi by Yoshiyuki Matsuoka, the 65-kilogram class champion at the Los Angeles Olympics. Otoshi. There are various ways of executing tai otoshi depending on the situation. This is tai otoshi executed by drawing the opponent out. This is a tailing tai otoshi, executed the moment the opponent moves his leg back. In this tai otoshi, the opponent has been drawn out sideways. There are cases where tai otoshi is executed by grabbing one side of the collar. Double motion tai otoshi. It was executed first of all by lightly kicking the inside of the opponent's foot to make him lose balance. In another instance, you might cross your opponent's arms when executing the throw. By twisting your opponent's arms, his body goes off balance and his resistance is stopped. Hiromitsu Takano, the winner of the Kano Cup, here shows off a spirited tai otoshi. At the World Judo Championships in Seoul, Hitoshi Sugai catches Ha Hong-ju of Korea just as they establish their grip. A brilliant tai otoshi. Kataguruma. Kataguruma is a technique in which you haul your opponent up above you as you throw. As you can see, the throw is generally made by throwing your opponent down toward the tip of your foot. In Kataguruma, the throw can be made in any number of directions after you raise your opponent up. In this case, the opponent is thrown directly in front. It appears that this kind of throw was often used in the early days of modern judo. In this kataguruma, the body of the opponent is raised up high, and the throw is then made by bending backwards. The direction of the throws may differ, but these are all considered kataguruma, and the effect of the throw is recognized. Here you enter low on one knee, raise your opponent up and throw him down. Kataguruma with different forms include this as well. As in Morotegari, you raise your opponent up holding both his legs, then stretching backwards, throw him down. This form is hardly ever seen nowadays, but was apparently one of the techniques in the older schools of Jujutsu. Uki-otoshi. The tori, or active partner, pulls the uke, or passive partner, forward, goes down on one knee, and pulls him down in front. The aim of practicing kata, or form, is to make students realize the principle behind the technique. In uki-otoshi, you sometimes step in the moment your opponent steps forward with his left foot, then execute your throw by pulling him off balance to one side of you. When your right hand is grasping the middle of the sleeve like this, you can force him to go off balance by pushing up on his elbow. Have another look. Dodging your opponent's osotogari by pulling back your leg, turn aside and then throw. This is also uki-otoshi. Sumi-otoshi. Sumi-otoshi is a throwing technique in which you shake your opponent off balance into the rear corner, then throw him by thrusting him down. Using your right hand, you pull up your opponent by grasping his left collar. You make your opponent lose balance by causing him to raise his left foot and shift his weight to his right heel. In another instance, you shift your grip from his left collar to the middle of his sleeve. You then push his elbow up to make him lose balance. Sumi-otoshi and uki-otoshi make up a pair. Let's now look at the difference between sumi-otoshi and uki-otoshi. In sumi-otoshi, you push and throw your opponent down to the rear. In uki-otoshi, you pull and throw your opponent down to the front. The direction of off-balancing and throwing your opponent differs. Sumi-otoshi was one of the favorite techniques of Kyuzo Mifune, the 10th Dan. Pay close attention to the principle of the technique, where you force your opponent's left foot to come forward and throw him down in a backward direction. Tsukui Nage. Originally in Tsukui Nage, you first pushed your opponent back to make him lose balance, then lifted him up and threw him in a backward direction. This technique is not at all seen in recent tournaments. In a tournament, the technique of placing a hand underneath your opponent's thigh and lifting him up is often used. When your opponent tries a harai goshi, you should pull your foot back to open yourself up for an attack, then put your hand in from behind your opponent to lift him up and throw him down. Similarly, when your opponent comes at you with an osotogari, then you should again put your hand in from behind and throw. Again, When he attempts an uchimata, you can evade his motion, then putting your hand in from behind, transform it into a sukui-nage. On occasion, you may throw using your hips as you lift your opponent. Another way is to lift your opponent as he tries a hanegoshi, then throw by brushing aside his pivot leg. This time, the opponent is lifted by putting a hand in from the front. When your opponent tries osotogari, pull your foot back, then as you do so, put your hand in from the front and lift him up. The final of the 1976 All Japan Championships. Sumio Endo wins with a sukui-nage. At the Kobe Universiade competition 65-kilogram finals, Yun of Korea performs a sukui-nage. Obi Otoshi. Obi Otoshi can be considered a kind of sukui-nage. It is one of the techniques of Jiu-Jitsu, the traditional martial art. Grasp the front part of your opponent's belt. Push him directly back to cause him to lose balance, lift him from the side, and throw him down towards the rear. The principle of Obi Otoshi is very much like that of sukui-nage. Obi Otoshi is hardly ever used in modern tournaments, but is one of the techniques used in free exercises of Kodokan Judo. Morote-gari. Morote-gari is often used in a competition. There are different ways of starting Morote-gari. In this case, you catch your opponent the moment you come to grapple with him. This is Morote-gari, where you first pull your opponent forward. In this case, seoi-nage turns into a morote-gari. When you attempt seoi-nage, your opponent will react by bending backwards. Morote-gari is then performed without a pause. In following on from a seoi-nage, you sometimes make one complete turn, as you can see here. This also is an application of morote-gari. Here you make your opponent fall by grasping one of his feet using both hands. Morote-gari performed by Kim Jae-yup of Korea. You push your opponent down by taking hold of his leg, but sometimes it's executed from the inside as well as from the outside. In kuchiki daoshi, you may simply grasp the other's leg, or you may change it into either from your own or your opponent's technique. Here you turn from seoi-nage and grasp your opponent's leg from inside. This is a follow-on technique starting from kataguruma. A kataguruma is attempted, but as your opponent defends himself by shifting his weight backwards, the throw is made by grasping his leg from inside. This time we start with the opponent's osotogari. When the opponent attacks with osotogari, defend yourself by opening up, turning sideways. As you do so, catch him from inside his legs to make him fall. Here you down your opponent by catching his leg from outside. When you perform kouchigari, your opponent counters by raising the foot that's been swept from the side. Grasp his leg from outside at that moment to make him fall. This time, continuing from ouchigari. The moment your opponent raises his foot to counter the move, you catch his leg from outside to drop him. Look closely at the movement of the right hand. This is not seoi nage, but kuchiki daoshi. A continuous movement is made from a seoi nage, and your opponent is made to fall with the right hand on the outside of his leg. Turning your opponent's hizaguruma into this technique. Catching the foot of your opponent as he attempts hizaguruma, push him down with your left hand to make him fall. Kuchiki daoshi, performed by NAGE WAZA of Hungary at the World Championships. Kibis gaeshi. Kibis gaeshi is a technique in which you fell your opponent by taking hold of his heel. There are two ways of performing kibis gaeshi. Either by grasping the inside of your opponent's heel, or by grasping the outside. First make seoi nage, then turn once to face your opponent to follow on to kibis gaeshi. First, grasping your opponent's heel from outside. Catch your opponent's heel from outside as he tries to withdraw, then cut him down by pushing with your left hand. In the following case, too, you grasp the heel from outside. From kouchigari, you make your opponent fall by taking the heel of the raised foot from outside. Changing your opponent's hizaguruma into this technique. When your opponent attacks with a hizaguruma, take his heel from outside to cut him down. Let's compare techniques. In kuchiki daoshi, you push your opponent down by putting your hand on his leg. In kibis gaeshi, you grasp your opponent's heel and cut him right down on the spot. Kouchigaeshi. In kouchigaeshi, You dodge your opponent's kochigari, then drop him by twisting to either right or left. When your opponent attacks with a kochigari, you evade by raising the foot that's been struck, then make a throw by twisting him to the left. This time, twisting to the right. Look closely at how you evade the attack and how you make the twist. This is deashi harai, brushing off the starting move. When the kochigari of your opponent is brushed off like this, it'll be called deashi harai. This is hizaguruma. The opponent's kochigari changes into a hizaguruma. Kochigaishi is classified as a hand technique, not a foot technique. Uchimata sukashi. When your opponent attacks with uchimata, you move your right foot back, turn and twist. The opponent, losing his target, will only hit empty air and fall, drawing a large arc as he does so. Occasionally, you may raise one of your feet up high to dodge the attack. This also is an application of uchimata sukashi. Uchimata sukashi, performed by Katsuhiko Kashiwazaki, the 1981 world champion. Another uchimata sukashi, performed by Masao Takahashi at the World Championships in Paris. Olympic champion Shinji Hosokawa performs uchimata sukashi at the Pacific Rim Judo Championships. Yama Arashi. For several years after 1886, there was a fierce rivalry between the old-style jujutsu and Jigoro Kano's Kodokan Judo. People of the time went wild with enthusiasm at the Tokyo Police Martial Arts Tournament, which was to decide whether to opt for jujutsu or for judo, when the diminutive Sanshiro Sugata felled his giant of an opponent with Yama Arashi. Shiro Saigo, the sixth Dan, is considered to be the model of the hero of the novel Sanshiro Sugata. Though small in stature, his fierce performance won him the praise. There were no Yama Arashi to speak of before or after Saigo. In December 1922, Master Kano, mourning the death of Saigo, said in the performance of the techniques he excelled in, none among the several million followers could surpass him. So saying, he honored him by presenting him with the sixth Dan. Yama Arashi is performed by grasping your opponent's collar and sleeve on the same side, lifting him up as in Harai Goshi, then dropping him using the hip. With your right hand placed inside the collar of your opponent, with the thumb inside, push against his right chest. Push your opponent down. Then, just as he tries to raise himself, jump in and throw him. The foot movement is similar to that of Harai Goshi. Your toe should be put close to your opponent's ankle as you brush it upwards. Simultaneously, lift with the right hand while brushing upwards with the right foot, then throw in a large motion upwards. Ogoshi. In Ogoshi, you pull your opponent forward with your arm around his waist, then throw on your waist. Move in with your hip low. Make your throw only after your opponent's hip is sufficiently close. With your left hand, pull your opponent out off balance, forward to your left. Bring his waist sufficiently close to place him on your hips. Then, with both elbows outstretched, pull him straight up to throw. With your left hand under your opponent's side, as you come to grapple, pull his waist close and perform Ogoshi. Here, the opponent's Hanegoshi is turned into Ogoshi. Pull your opponent's waist close as he attacks with a Hanegoshi. Step up close with both your feet and throw using the Ogoshi technique. This is not Utsurigoshi. Ukigoshi. In Ukigoshi, you draw your opponent's waist in close using one of your arms, then throw using the twisting motion of your waist. In the practice form, the throw is made as your opponent attacks, as if to strike. In Ukigoshi, you throw in a twisting motion after bending back fully, using your left hip as the fulcrum. Your shoulder is placed deep under your opponent's arm, and your arm secures his waist position parallel to his belt. Look once again at how you bend your back, how your shoulder should be positioned, and how your waist is twisted. Let's see the difference between an Ogoshi and Ukigoshi. In Ogoshi, keep your knees bent and your waist low. Then straighten the knees and make the throw with an upward pulling movement. In Ukigoshi, your waist is only lowered shallowly, and your lower left hip is made the fulcrum as you twist and throw. This is a rare film showing Professor Kano explaining his favorite technique, Ukigoshi, before the practice hall of Tokyo Higher Normal School in the early part of the century. Tsurigoshi. In Tsurigoshi, you grasp your opponent's belt from behind, then bringing him in close, lift and throw on your hip. You must defend against your opponent's Tsurikomigoshi while you grasp his belt from under his arm as you throw. In this form of Tsurigoshi, you grasp your opponent's belt over his shoulder. Pulling your opponent forward, you grasp his belt over his shoulder and throw using Tsurigoshi. Throwing as you grasp the front part of your opponent's belt is also an application of the Tsurigoshi technique. It's called a Tsurigoshi only when the belt is grasped in making the throw. Tsurikomigoshi. This is the kata form of Tsurikomigoshi. The moment your opponent protects himself by bending backwards, lower your hips and making them the fulcrum of your throw, pull him down with both your arms. In Randori, you pull your opponent up with both arms and throw him on your hips when moving either forwards or backwards. Take firm hold of the rear of your opponent's jacket when he's bent forward in a defensive posture to throw, pulling him up. This is also surikomigoshi. There is an application of surikomigoshi which is generally called sode surikomigoshi. By pulling up your opponent's arm, you destroy his balance. You then have a choice of either taking hold of his sleeve opening like this, or taking hold of the elbow section of his sleeve. When grasping the sleeve opening, you sometimes do so by pushing your opponent's hand away. The throw is made when he comes back with the same hand to grasp your jacket. Here's a powerful surikomigoshi executed by Habareli of the Soviet Union at the Kano Cup tournament. The Lausanne World Judo Championship lightweight division finals. Nobuyuki Sato wins with a sode surikomigoshi. Surikomigoshi shown by Nobutoshi Hikage at the All Japan Judo Championship tournament. Koshi Guruma. In Koshi Guruma, you grasp your opponent by the neck and throw in a twisting motion with him on your hips. Control your opponent by holding his neck. Place your waist deep under him and push to the side. Koshi Guruma must be executed by holding your opponent's neck. Harai Goshi. In Harai Goshi, you pull your opponent close and throw with your hip and legs in a sweeping motion. The Nage no Kata form is created by pulling your opponent close by putting a hand under his arm and raising him to destroy his balance. In randori, you seldom put your hand in as shown here. Here the technique is performed by following the motion of your opponent who withdraws. Another chance for using Harai Goshi presents itself when you pull your opponent out sideways as shown here. The body movement when executing Harai Goshi varies, as when you crisscross and change the position of your feet. For a moment, your opponent mistakes it for a right-hander technique. Then you turn and go into the motion for Harai Goshi. Let's take a look at various forms of Harai Goshi from tournament films. This is Harai Goshi as performed by Castro of the United States. All Japan Judo Championship. Harai Goshi performed by Nobutoshi Hikage. The throw is made in a winding motion the moment his opponent comes up close and tries to defend himself by swinging his right foot over. Harai Goshi by Yoshimi Masaki at an All-Japan Judo Championship. Hane Goshi. Hane Goshi is a technique of throwing your opponent by bouncing him up using the movement of your hip and foot. Hane Goshi executed in pursuit. It's made the moment your opponent retreats and brings his left foot down. The leg to be used in bouncing your opponent up should be bent a little. You bounce him up around the lower part of his knee. The technique may be used after guiding your opponent sideways. This is Hane Goshi, where you jump in to execute the technique. Pull your opponent downwards, and when he straightens himself up in reaction, jump in to execute this technique. Let's look at the difference between Hane Goshi and Harai Goshi. In Hane Goshi, you bounce your opponent up with your leg bent. In Harai Goshi, your leg is straight as you bounce your opponent up. Uchimata looks similar to Hane Goshi, except you place your leg in between your opponent's legs and bounce him up. Utsuri Goshi. Utsuri Goshi is a kind of technique used when your opponent attacks with Koshiwaza, to raise him up and throw him on your hips. This is an Utsuri Goshi technique which originates from the opponent's Hane Goshi. This is Utsuri Goshi, which started out as an Uchimata by the opponent. You completely raise your opponent up by the waist and opening outwards, throw after moving him over on your hips. It can also be executed after your opponent attacks with an O Sotogari. In this case, you draw your foot a moment before he executes his O Sotogari. The second World Cup tournament. Tesnyak of the Soviet Union wins with Utsuri Goshi. Ushiro Goshi. This is the throw to use when your opponent attacks with Koshiwaza. You lift your opponent up, and throw him down in front of you. This ushirogoshi has developed from the opponent's hanegoshi. Ushirogoshi executed just as your opponent tries to defend himself by curling his feet around yours. When changing into ushirogoshi, your opponent may try defending himself by attacking your foot, as in ouchigari. You then lift up the foot that's been attacked, hoist him up, then throw him down. This is in case your opponent defends himself using something like kouchigari. If your opponent defends himself by using kouchigari from inside, lift your foot that's been attacked, hoist him up, and throw him down. When your opponent attacks with osotogari, push his waist up with your leg as you throw him down. Ushirogoshi resulting from your opponent's hanegoshi. You can also execute the technique like this without holding your opponent's hip, but simply lifting it up by using your left foot. These different follow-on techniques are all called ushirogoshi. Dakiage. When on the floor, you grasp your opponent's belt to make him bend over. Then, with your arms crossed, grip both lapels to bring him near. Then, standing up on both legs, raise him up at once deftly to the shoulder level. This technique is dangerous if your opponent is dropped after being raised up, so that the effect of the throw was recognized only in 1926. In those days, an ippon was declared when you succeeded in raising your opponent up to the shoulder-high level at one go. But today, the match is suspended with the call of mate. The effect of the technique is not recognized. Hizaguruma. Hizaguruma is a technique of supporting your opponent's knee with your foot as you throw. As your opponent tries to step forward, place the sole of your foot on his knee. Your opponent will turn and fall in a twisting motion. Hizaguruma performed after transferring your right hand from his left lapel to mid-sleeve. Another method, where your opponent's knee is bent. Step forward, execute the technique as if trying to bend your opponent's knee. He then falls in a twisting motion. Hizaguruma, following on from your opponent's kouchigari. Raise your attacked foot and follow on with a hizaguruma. This is not kouchigaishi, however. Sasae tsurikomiashi. Sasae tsurikomiashi is executed by putting the sole of your foot on your opponent's ankle and throwing with that as the fulcrum. This is when your opponent has stepped forward. This is when you first lightly slap the inside of your opponent's left foot before executing the technique. The aim of this is to destroy your opponent's balance toward the tip of his right foot as you slap his foot from inside. Sasae tsurikomiashi made to look like osotogari. When osotogari is executed, your opponent defends by moving his weight forward in reaction. Turn your body at that moment support with your foot as you throw. Sasai Tsurikomi Ashi, executed by Anton Geesink of the Netherlands, the victor of the Tokyo Olympics. Another Sasai Tsurikomi Ashi, as performed by Chonosuke Takagi, the winner of the World Championships in Lausanne. All Japan champion Naoya Ogawa performs Sasai Tsurikomi Ashi. Ogawa grapples his opponent from his left side, brings him in tight using both hands in a characteristically powerful twisting motion. Harai Tsurikomi Ashi. In Harai Tsurikomi Ashi, you can throw your opponent by a sweeping blow to the rear of his foot. Here, the right foot of the opponent is swept away as he tries to retreat, and then he's thrown. You slap at the inside of the foot of your opponent as he tries to retreat to destroy his balance towards the tip of his right foot, then sweep him off his feet. Let's compare these two techniques. In Sasai Tsurikomi Ashi, you support your opponent's foot as you throw. In Harai Tsurikomi Ashi, you slap at your opponent's feet as you make your throw. Sasai and Harai are similar in form, but are different in that one has the Sasairu, or supporting motion, whereas the other has the Harai Ageru, or sweeping motion. Deashi Harai. In Deashi Harai, you sweep away one of your opponent's feet that's moved forward. When your opponent steps forward with his right foot, you open up with your right and sweep using your left foot. Here you sweep the retreating right foot of the opponent who's trying to move back. Here you lead your opponent around and sweep his right foot as he steps forward. This is following on from Hizaguruma. When you try Hizaguruma, your opponent reciprocates, stepping forward with his right foot. You then sweep away that right foot. In another instance, you release your opponent's hand as he pulls, and using your own hand, bring his foot forward, which you can then sweep away.
At
the Seoul World Championships, Masaki triumphs over Rashwan with an ippon using Deashi Harai. An All-Japan Judo Championship. Look at the marvelously well-timed Deashi Harai performed by Masaki. At the Kano Cup tournament, Hiromitsu Takano executes the Deashi Harai. Okuriashi harai. Okuriashi harai is a technique where you sweep away both of your opponent's feet as you throw him. You lead your opponent around and sweep away both his feet. In Okuriashi harai, you sweep away both your opponent's feet as they're together. Okuriashi harai performed in 2 steps. You step in and sweep away the retreating foot of your opponent. Let's compare similar techniques. In Okuriashi harai, you sweep away both your opponent's feet together. In Deashi harai, you sweep away your opponent's foot as he steps forward. In harai tsurikomiashi, you sweep away your opponent's foot as it retreats towards the far corner. We decide the technique used according to these criteria. Tsubame gaeshi. Tsubame gaeshi is a technique of throwing your opponent by reversing his foot sweep into your own. Shift directly to your right or left. If your opponent attacks with Deashi harai or Okuriashi harai, you dodge it and turn it into Tsubame gaeshi. Even when moving back, you can also do likewise. Kosoto gari. Changing your opponent's taiotoshi into kosoto gari. Dodging your opponent's taiotoshi, make him off balance, standing on both his heels. Then cut him down in the direction of his toes using the back of your feet. Your foot will be placed on roughly the same line as your opponent's. When you're clipping, you should do so from your opponent's heels in the direction of his toes, as if rubbing the surface of the mat. Your opponent should fall suddenly on the spot. Kosoto gari, performed by Shozo Fuji, a former middleweight class world champion. He catches his opponent with kosoto gari just as he comes back from applying a right side osoto gari. Kosoto gake. Kosoto gake is a technique of throwing your opponent in a kind of pulling up motion. Sometimes the sole of the foot, at other times the leg is used for clipping. As the opponent withdraws his left foot, shifting his weight onto his other foot, you make him fall, hooking with your leg. You first try an uchimata, then the moment your opponent tries to defend himself, leaning backward, you turn it into kosoto gake. Here you take hold of the rear collar to bring your opponent in close, push him back to go off balance, then hook and make him fall. Now let's see the differences between similar techniques. In kosoto gari, you step in close to the side of your opponent, make him lose balance on his heel and clip him down. In deashi harai, the moment your opponent's foot is about to touch the mat, or when his foot is about to be lifted off the mat, you sweep his foot away to make him fall. In kosoto gake, you make your opponent lose his balance by making him stand on his heels as you face him directly. Clip as if to pull your opponent up and backwards as you throw him. World champion Naoya Ogawa shows off Kosotogake, which is his favorite technique. This is a two-stage Kosotogake performed by Yoshimi Masaki. Marshall of the USA executes Kosotogake, having secured the rear collar and pulled his opponent in close. Or Sotogari. Pull the right leg of your opponent out, then clip him down the moment it touches the mat. Pull his left leg out and cut down on his right leg. Or Sotogari from a Harai Tsurikomiyashi. As your opponent advances to defend himself, cut down on his right leg. Another method is to put your arm under your opponent's and holding his waist from the rear to cut him down. Another is to pull your opponent up by the front of his belt and execute a clip upward. Here you push your opponent's elbow to make him lose balance and cut him down to the rear. An All-Japan Judo Championship. Yasuhiro Yamashita executes a convincing Osotogari. Again, at an All-Japan Judo Championship, Osotogari following on from a Harai Goshi performed by Hiromi Masaki. The 1987 World Judo Championships. Hirotaka Okada performs a magnificent Osotogari. Osoto Otoshi. Osoto Otoshi is made by pushing down your opponent by sliding your leg down his rear waist. In Osoto Otoshi, your opponent's foot must be on the matting as you make the sliding clip. Here you see Osoto Otoshi made with the opponent's neck on your arm. Let's look at the differences between Osotogari and Osoto Otoshi. If your opponent's foot goes up in the air, it's Osotogari. If your opponent's leg remains on the matting as you sweep and he goes down, it's an Osoto Otoshi. At the World Judo Championships, Toshi Saito makes Osoto Otoshi. Osoto Guruma. In osotoguruma, you begin your throw as in osotogari, but cut both your opponent's legs as you twist him down. Sometimes it's done in two movements. In a variation of this, you step behind both your opponent's legs with your right leg and make him fall, as in taiotoshi. Or sotogaeshi. As your opponent steps in, trying to execute osotogari, you instead cut him down at that moment using the same throw. Here, the opponent's osotogari is returned after a short delay. As you defend yourself against your opponent's osotogari by pulling back your right foot, you counter with an osotogari. As you defend yourself against your opponent's osotogari by pulling back your left foot, you counter with a twist. As you defend against your opponent's osotogari by pulling back your left foot, you counter as if in osotogaeshi. Another example where an opportunity to counter came still later. Oguruma. Oguruma is a technique where you make your throw by turning your opponent around your leg as an axis. Placing your leg near the lower abdomen of your opponent to use as an axis, you turn him around and throw. Execute hizaguruma, and the moment your opponent counters with his right foot, follow on with a oguruma. Oguruma was one of the favorite techniques of the 10th Dan, Fuso Mifune. He's captured the moment his opponent tries to step forward on his right foot. Ashiguruma. In Ashiguruma, you place your foot on your opponent's knee and throw with that as an axis. It's the same principle as hizaguruma. Here, an osotogari is followed by ashiguruma. First, you execute osotogari. When your opponent responds by withdrawing his left foot, you follow with ashiguruma. Let's see the difference between osotogari and ashiguruma. When you use osotogari, your opponent falls directly to the rear. With ashiguruma, your opponent twists and falls forward. The name of the technique is decided by looking closely at these points. Yamashita wins with ashiguruma at the 1955 All Japan Judo Championships. Uchimata. In using the Uchimata technique, you first pull your opponent forward. Then just when his weight shifts to his left foot as he moves forward, you throw by sweeping up from between his legs. Here you jump in to make your throw the moment your opponent withdraws his foot and touches the mat. Pull your opponent forward to make him assume jigotai, or a self-defense position. Then jump in and apply Uchimata just as he raises himself. This is a method generally known as ken-ken Uchimata. You sweep with your left leg to destroy your opponent's balance and throw. And Uchimata after having switched feet. The movement is similar to that of Harai Goshi and Oguruma. The method used is to pull your opponent sideways, then sweep up on the leg he steps out on. First you make a move, as in performing Ouchigari. Then it's transformed into Uchimata. In this situation, the objective is to cause your opponent to open up his legs and lean forward off balance. If your opponent defends himself by going down on one knee, he's still judged to be standing, and the Uchimata is recognized. Uchimata, performed by Seiki Nosei of Japan. Pesniak of the USSR follows an opponent in to perform an Uchimata. Uchimata performed by Olympic champion Yamashita. Another Olympic champion, Toshi Saito, performs a variation Uchimata. When his opponent counters by taking hold of Saito's knee with his right hand, Saito, turning left, transforms the movement into an Uchimata. An Uchimata by Sumio Endo, where he makes use of the twisting of his body. Uchimata Gaishi. In Uchimata Gaishi, when your opponent attacks with Uchimata, you counter by cutting back on his pivotal foot. Ouchigari. Pull your opponent's foot forward, then just as he tries to put his weight on that foot, clip his foot and make him fall. Here, the opponent's foot is being clipped as he tries to retreat. Here the opponent is pulled out sideways, then his foot is clipped as if to open it further out. Here the opponent is pulled in close, then clipped the moment he tries to rise up. Here, when the opponent tries to get away by raising his foot, he's pushed forward and cut down off balance. Here, his leg is grabbed as you clip. In the World Championships, Vachon of France performs an ouchigari. Ouchigari performed by Yamashita. At the finals of the second Kano Cup tournament, Katsuhiko Kashiwazaki performs an ouchigari, taking hold of his opponent's foot. Ouchigaeshi. Ouchigaeshi is a technique of countering your opponent's ouchigari with an ouchigari of your own. There are two ways of countering. One is to clip the foot that's clipping you, and the other is to clip your opponent's pivotal foot. Here, the opponent's foot is clipped back as he tries to clip you. Here, you counter by clipping both your opponent's attacking foot as well as his pivotal foot at the same time. Dodge your opponent's ouchigari and counter with a twisting motion. This is also ouchigaeshi. Use your opponent's force to return the attack by twisting to the right. First dodging your opponent's ouchigari, then throwing and twisting to your left. Isao Matsui performs an ouchigari. Proшу of West Germany performs an ouchigaeshi as they rise from the NAGE WAZA position. Ouchigari. In ouchigari, you pull your opponent's foot forward, then you clip just as his foot comes down on the mat. In this instance, you cut down on the retreating foot of your opponent. Here, ouchigari is performed by pulling the opponent off sideways. And here you cause your opponent to open his feet wide and clip after subduing his defense. Another method is to clip holding one of your opponent's feet. You may sometimes turn around once as you take hold of your opponent's foot and make him fall. Bergmans of Belgium performs Kochigari from an Uchimata position. Hitoshi Saito at the 1988 All-Japan Weight Class Championships. He performs Kochigari, taking hold of his opponent's leg. Hane Goshi Gaeshi. There are two ways of performing Hane Goshi Gaeshi. One is a leg technique whereby you reap the pivotal foot of your opponent, and another is a hip technique of pushing up with the hip and twisting before countering. At times you hold the opponent's waist and reap your opponent's pivotal foot. With your hip, you bounce your opponent up in a large motion, then throw, twisting with both hands. When bouncing your opponent with your hip, you may at times simultaneously sweep upwards using your leg. Harai Goshi Gaeshi. In Harai Goshi Gaeshi, you counter by reaping your opponent's pivotal foot for executing Harai Goshi. Just as your opponent attacks with Harai Goshi, you counter by extending your hips, then reap his pivotal foot to make him fall. The technique you use in countering, holding your opponent's hips, is also Harai Goshi Gaeshi. Here the opponent's hips are being held, but as the counter action is reaping his pivotal foot, it's not Ushiro Goshi. Ushiro Goshi is a technique where you raise your opponent up, holding him by the hip and letting him fall. Tomoe Nage. In Tomoe Nage, you drop backwards while putting a foot on your opponent's lower abdomen and throw him back over your head. Here, the technique is applied just as soon as your opponent steps forward and tries to put his weight on his foot. Here, the opponent is pulled out forward at a slight angle as the technique is applied. This is the way you apply the technique when your opponent is in a right-handed position, making him go off balance on his toes and making him fall to his right as you throw. Here, the throw is made over your head when your opponent is in the right-handed position. Here, the opponent is thrown by pushing him up using both feet. At the Seoul World Championships, Shinji Hosokawa clinches victory with a Tomoe Nage. Yusuke Yamamoto at the third Kano Cup tournament. A Tomoe Nage throwing to the right. At the Moscow World Championship, Kenichi Haraguchi executes a tomoe nage, turning himself over as well. Uranage. The principle behind this form is to use the force of your opponent as you dodge his striking motion and to throw him, lifting him up on your hip as you sacrifice yourself by falling backward. Here, the opponent's hanegoshi is transformed into an uranage. As the opponent attacks with a hanegoshi, hold his hips and bring him close and throw him directly behind over your shoulder. Another way is to hold and raise your opponent up from the front, then leaning back, throw by sacrificing yourself. An All-Japan Judo Championship. Here, Sumio Endo performs uranage, which is a transformation of his opponent's kouchigari. Sumigaeshi. You start with both sides grappling in a defensive position. The technique was already in existence in Koryu, one of the older schools of jiu-jitsu, and the exact same form has been handed down. In the present-day dandori, we do not start directly from such a position. In Sumigaeshi, you fall backwards in a self-sacrificing movement. Place the instep of your right foot in the crook of his left knee and lift him up over your head. You pull your opponent forward, grasping his rear collar to execute Sumigaeshi. Here it's done by grasping your opponent's rear collar or his back and starts with Uchimata. Here it's a quick turn around from the Uchimata position, followed on with Sumigaeshi. Sumigaeshi is one of the favorite techniques of Verichev of the Soviet Union. Hikomigaeshi. Hikomigaeshi is another Koryu technique. First, grapple in the defensive posture, holding your opponent's right arm with both arms. Fall down and place your right foot on your opponent's right inner thigh. Then throw over your right shoulder. This was the original Hikomigaeshi. In a dandori situation, the throw is often made by pulling your opponent in close, holding his belt at the rear, then by throwing him, falling down in a self-sacrificing motion. The place where your foot is applied varies. There's no set place. This is the method of throwing by falling to your side. In this case, it becomes yokostemi waza. You pull your opponent's belt at the rear close and throw by falling sideways in a self-sacrificing motion. Let's see the differences between this and a Sumigaeshi, which look very much alike. In Sumigaeshi, you throw by grasping the rear collar of your opponent. In Hikomigaeshi, you throw by grasping the rear part of your opponent's belt. The difference between the two may be judged by whether you hold your opponent's belt or not. Komigaeshi is one of the favorite techniques of Katsuhiko Kashiwazaki, who used it in the 1981 World Championship. Tawara Gaeshi. In Tawara Gaeshi, you hold your opponent from above to pull him close, then throw as you fall face up in a self-sacrificing motion. In this situation, your opponent defends himself by leaning forward. This Tawara Gaeshi follows upon the opponent's morotegari. When your opponent jumps in close to execute morotegari, you pull your feet back, drop your hip low to defend yourself, then counter. Ukiwaza. In Ukiwaza, you step sideways on one foot, sacrificing your balance, and throw your opponent in the direction of your foot. Around 1883, when the Nage no Kata form of the throw was established, the technique was performed starting with grappling in the self-defense posture. This is Ukiwaza, performed by pulling the opponent forward. This Ukiwaza is performed by stepping in with your right foot when your opponent withdraws his left foot. At times, you might assume an oblique defensive posture after pulling your opponent forward by grasping his rear collar and the sleeve and throw from a self-sacrificing posture. This is a technique of following on from kataguruma to ukiwaza. In this technique, as you're sacrificing yourself in making the throw, it is not kataguruma. The opponent is pulled by rolling up his right arm under your left arm, then thrown, twisting your body to the left. Yoko otoshi. In yoko otoshi, you step to one side and throw your opponent directly to one side in a sacrificing motion. Observe the off-balancing to the side and sacrificing motion. Pull your opponent to one side, make him go off balance, then throw, sacrificing yourself. As you can see, in a yoko otoshi, off-balancing and throwing are done to the side. Tani otoshi. In tani otoshi, you step behind both legs of your opponent in a sacrificing motion, then throw him down directly behind. If you can push his elbow up, it becomes even more easy to make him go off balance and fall backwards. Here, kuchiki daoshi is transformed into tani-otoshi. On occasions when kuchiki-daoshi cannot be executed, you might step in, throwing in a self-sacrificing motion. This also is a kind of tani-otoshi. Here you hold your opponent's right arm under your left arm. You perform tani-otoshi, sacrificing yourself. Take a look at a different kind of tani-otoshi. Step in behind both your opponent's legs, leaning to force him to fall. Let's look at these three similar techniques. In ukiwaza, you make your opponent lose his balance forward. He's thrown in that direction. In yoko otoshi, you make your opponent lose his balance to the side. He's thrown in that direction. In tani-otoshi, you make your opponent lose his balance backward, and he's thrown in that direction. Observe Nobutoshi Hikage, the world champion for 1983 and 85, use his favorite technique, tani-otoshi.
大外刈りの内股の合わせ技を59秒で勝ちました。2回戦はインドネシアで敗しました。勝ち。
Yoko wakare. In yoko wakare, you step in with both of your feet next to your opponent's feet, then throw him over your body, sacrificing yourself. The moment your opponent's feet are together, sacrifice yourself and throw him above your body. Here, the opponent's ogoshi is transformed into a yoko wakare. As soon as your opponent attacks with ogoshi, you open sideways and turn it into a yoko wakare. Transforming your opponent's deashi harai. When your opponent attacks with deashi harai, step up close and sacrificing yourself, throw sideways with a yoko wakare. Yoko wakare can also be performed as mastemi waza on the floor. Yoko gake. When practicing the kata, destroy your opponent's balance in about 2.5 steps, then throw, sacrificing yourself. In this technique, it's important to make your opponent go off balance till he's supported only by his toes. You sweep, thrusting powerfully with your sole just underneath your opponent's ankle from the front, then sacrificing yourself, throw him parallel to your body. Because yokogake is extremely difficult to set up, it's hardly ever used in dandori. You sometimes see it used in conjunction with sasae tsurikomiyashi in practice. The opponent falls after being thrown in a large whirl. This, too, is an application of yokogake. Daki wakare. In fighting on the mat, if your opponent does not get up, you can raise and hold him up from the side, then twisting, throw over your body. It appears that in the early days of judo, the effect of this technique was allowed even if you were on a mat. However, under the present system of judging, the effect of the throw is no longer recognized. Here, standing fight becomes daki wakare. When your opponent attacks with an uchimata, you might try catching him from the rear to apply another technique. Then, when he lets down both of his hands and escapes, you can apply daki wakare. The effect of the technique is recognized in this case. Yokokuruma. If you try throwing your opponent with an uranage as he comes at you, he defends himself by twisting. Put your right foot between both his feet at that moment and throw, sacrificing yourself. Here, the opponent's hanegoshi is turned into this technique. Here's the way to apply it, following on from taneotoshi. The moment your opponent bends forward to defend himself against taneotoshi, then you follow with this. Soto makikomi. In soto makikomi, hold your opponent's arm under your arm. Step in close with your hips, then turning, throw him over your body in a wrapping motion. Place your hip close to the opponent to use as an axis in the throw. This is the basic principle of soto makikomi. Placing your hip next to your opponent, but not so deep, and throwing him. This is also soto makikomi. Here's soto makikomi, where you first step in with your feet. You can also step sideways in a large motion outside your opponent's right foot to wrap him around. When applying hanegoshi or haraigoshi, your opponent may defend himself by holding close to you. It may be possible to throw him using the wrapping technique. Uchimakikomi. Uchimakikomi is similar to ippon seoi nage. Grasp your opponent by the arm and twist sideways to wrap him around you. Use your hip as an axis. Twist and throw in a wrapping motion. This is the basis of uchimakikomi. Here's uchimakikomi, where you step out on your right foot to set it up. Here's uchimakikomi after you've made your opponent retreat. Here you follow on from ippon seoi nage. The moment your opponent defends himself by turning away, you grasp his neck with an arm and pull, wrapping him around you. We distinguish between seoi nage and uchimakikomi by whether you carried your opponent on your shoulder or simply wrapped him around you as you controlled his arm. Hane makikomi. In hane-makikomi, you throw in a wrapping motion as you lift your opponent up with hane-goshi. There are two methods of executing this throw. The first is to lift up your opponent and wrap him around you as you grasp him by the arm. The second method is to lift your opponent up with hane-goshi, then wrap him around you. There's a difference in the timing of when you take hold of your opponent's arm. In this case, the opponent's collar has simply been grasped and he's not been wrapped around. This is hane-goshi, not hane-makikomi. Harai-makikomi. In harai-makikomi, you lift your opponent up using harai-goshi, then throw, wrapping him around you. There are two ways to throw. In the first method, lift up your opponent and wrap him around you as you grasp him by the arm like this. Another method is to lift your opponent up with harai-goshi, then place his arm under yours to wrap him around you. There's a difference in the timing of when you grasp your opponent's arm. Again, in this case, the opponent's collar has simply been grasped and he's not been wrapped around. This is harai-goshi, not harai-makikomi. Watch this breathtaking harai-makikomi as executed by Sumio Endo at the World Championships in Paris. Uchimata makikomi. In uchimata makikomi, you lift your opponent up using uchimata, then throw, wrapping him around you. There are two ways to make the throw. The first is to lift up your opponent and wrap him around you as you grasp him by the arm. The second method is to lift your opponent up with uchimata, then wrap him around you and throw. Please observe carefully the timing of grasping the opponent's arm under yours. Sumio Endo performs uchimata makikomi at the All Japan Judo Championship. All soto makikomi. All soto makikomi starts with one of the all soto gari family of techniques, followed by either an outer or inner wraparound throw. In the first case, following your opponent's defense of an all soto gari, you throw by wrapping him around you in an outward direction. From an osoto gari, you lean on your opponent and throw him, wrapping him outwards. The final technique used is soto makikomi, but as it follows osoto gari, the throw is called osoto makikomi. In the second case, you start out with osotogari, where you place your right arm underneath your opponent's right arm. As he defends himself, you counter by throwing forward, by wrapping him around yours, as in uchimaki komi. The final technique appears to be uchimaki komi, but as it follows on osotogari, it is called osotomaki komi.
そしてフランスのカヌーを破りました3回戦。
Observe osotomaki komi by an Olympic champion, Zeissenbacher.
技ありです。
Kanibasami. Kanibasami is a technique of throwing where you sandwich your opponent's body using both your feet. As soon as your feet are on a line with your opponent's, sandwich his abdomen and legs between your legs and throw in a sacrificing movement. See how oguruma is followed by kanibasami. As you attack with oguruma, your opponent tries to grasp your ankle to trip you. At that moment, follow with kanibasami. At an All-Japan Championship, Hirotoshi Watanabe attempts kanibasami on Yamashita. Kawazugake. Kawazugake is considered dangerous as you fall together with your opponent. It's prohibited in a tournament. In Kawazugake, you pull your opponent's neck close and hook one of his feet from inside. As you lean back, you throw both yourself and your opponent at the same time. Quite often, it's very difficult to judge the name of the technique as it's applied. Also, with more research and development, new techniques may well be born. However, the name will be chosen from one of the 65 throws, depending on the principle behind the technique used. We hope this video will help you to understand the classifications and names of the techniques, their variations, as well as the principles behind the form and the execution of the throws.
Judo にはの礼法には立礼、座礼と2通りありますが、一般には試合並びに練習にほとんどこの立礼を行っております。今 足の開きは約60度に開いて、目は、正しくその高さを見つめながら正面を見つめます。頭の下げ方ですが、手のひらが膝上10センチのほどまで下げる。次は座礼。一足長を後ろに引き、つま先を合わせてその上に静かに臀部を。手のひらの置く位置は膝頭の前約10センチ。姿勢、自然本体、今右自然体になりました。自然本体、左自然体、自己体、右自己体、左自己体、組み方ですが、自然本体の右自然体の組み方、左自然体の組み方、自己体の組み方、腰をこのようにグッと落として、そして組んでいくわけですが、お尻が出っ張らないように心がける。左自己体、これいわゆる手の握り方なんですが、ほとんどわしづかみに握るっていうような傾向が最近非常に多い。そしたら非常に手首が硬くなるから、このようにいわゆる、小指薬指を主体性にしたに力を入れたような握り方をする。例えばここでやっておりますように、今、小指薬指を入れて、後の指は静かに添えて、このように軽く手首を折ると。こういうようにやり方を持っていきますと、非常に手首が柔らかくなって攻撃防御に非常に有効になってまいります。はい、今これ親指に力入ってやった場合やっておりますが、こういうように手首が非常に硬くなって、動きが鈍くなります。今は小指に力入れて、こういうように手首がよく動く。これが今の握り方でやっています。手首が折れております。軽く小指が折っております。これは作りですが、八方の作りですが、今右自然体でやらせております。今後ろ、右横、左横、右前隅、左前隅、右後ろ隅、左後ろ隅、以上のように8つの作りがあります。受け身のいろいろな方向で、低い姿勢からだんだん高い姿勢、一番最初の姿勢、手の開き方に目の付けどころ、帯の結びを見ております。これは手の開き方が約30度ぐらい。そして柔らかく肩の力を抜いてリラックスした姿勢で強く手を打っております。次は中腰の段階。臀部をかかとの線一番近いところにつけて、後方に受け身をこのようにやるわけ。また立った姿勢。今の中腰の姿勢と同じようにお尻をつけるのが一番かかとに一番近いところにつけるという振動がなくなる、ショックが非常に少ないわけ。 これは側方の向き。側方に足を踏み出す、蹴り出して、蹴り出した位置に全部を静かに落とす。中腰の姿勢。蹴り出したところ、はい、蹴り出したところに静かに落としている。これは前方の受け身。あのように手のひらと前腕部、肘から先の腕をほとんど同時に叩きつけるようにつける。で、膝頭を上げる。あれを手のひらで受け身すると非常にショックを感じますから、このように一緒につける。前方回り、前回り受け身、回転の受け身と申します。これはいわゆる右肩口から臀部にかけてついている。はい、右の肩口から左の臀部にかけて、これはそのまま立っていく。強く。これは応用受け身。これは側方で回転した応用の受け身。これは前方の前回り受け身を応用してやる。これは総合的にいろいろな受け身をここで強く力を加えてやってみて、非常に首の筋肉と申しますか、その筋肉を強くして頭を畳につかないようになしていく。そうするとこれができるようになりますと、もう相当強い乱取りやってもいわゆる脳底骨折、そういうことはなくなっていく。この技はつま先の方向、それから膝の屈伸、右肘の押し付け、これに押し付けておりますね。ここが非常に大事なところで、はい、この押し付け、これが大事。それから右膝の屈伸、つま先だってこの方向に投げる。それでこの足先の足の歩幅の広さ、これは野村選手の表現。臀部を股の中まで入れる。非常に低い姿勢からの背負い投げで、ここで臀部が相手の股の中まで入っていく。非常に低く投げる背負い。次は藤井選手。これはスピードと腰の回り込み、腰のひねりですか、そういうことで投げる独特の背負い。この技は腕一本を、相手の腕の一本を背負って投げる。それで非常にバランスを考えなければいけません。これ深くやりすぎますとダメで、浅く肩口で取るわけ。足の方から一本で背負い投げと同じで、つま先も正しくああいうように向く。体落とし。この技はタイミング、左から右、重心を移動させるときに踏み込んでいって、その踏み込んだ両足の回転が非常に振幅を小さくする。そして膝の屈伸を曲げてグッと伸ばす。その非常のタイミング、はい、ここで踏み込んだ足が非常にそしてその足を伸ばす。肩車。はい、これはてこの応用で、体の中央線に自分の、後ろ首を当てる。いわゆる相手の帯のところに後ろ首を当てる。そして投げる。このようにぐっと引き出して後ろ首を当てる。そう同時に相手を引き出した手はぐっとああいうふうに伸ばしてしまう。それでこの膝の屈伸、この屈伸でぐーっと引きつけながら相手を上げる。大腰。これは腰技の基本で、十分に腰を深く入れる。で、右手を帯に添えて握る。で、これも膝の屈伸と、いわゆる膝を伸ばしながら 相手を抜き上げるように抜き上げるようにして投げる。はい、ここで入って抜き上げるようにして投げる。浮き腰、これは深く、あまり深く入れなく浅く腰を入れる。で膝はあまり曲げないっていうのがこの技の特徴で、両手をずっと引きつけたままこれを動かさない。はい、ここでずっと引きつけたまま、そして腰を回して投げる。膝はほとんど曲がらない、わずかに曲げるっていう。相手を引きつけつま先持って、それでぐっと腰を回して投げる。はい、払い腰、これは大きな人がほとんどかけておりますが、今みたいに飛び込んでいって回り込んで、大きく垂直の棒で払うような投げ方をする。それで一応、腰技で腰で投げ、腰で払うようなつもりで投げていた。で今みたいに引き手の方も非常に上の方に重心を移すような崩し方をする。はい、この周りが小さく、そして払う、大きく払う。これ小さく、はい、そして大きく払ってない。はい、ね。笹原選手の払い、これは回り込むんじゃなくて、そのままスッと、いわゆる軸足をスッと右に開く、左技で投げておりますから、右に開いて投げる。いわゆる前に比べるといくらかスピードがこれで速くなってくる。今、はい、これで足を投げ残して投げる。回り込まない。これは西村にやらしておりますが、吉松先生、鹿児島の吉松先生の得意技の払い腰をやらしてみたわけなんですが、大きな腰を持っている人はこういうような前に引き出して、そのまま足を残して投げる。釣り込み腰、小兵の人がよくかける技で、右腕の脇下に入れるところ。はい、ここで右腕脇下のぐーっと食い込むように入れて、ここが大事ですね。それから腰を下げる。で膝の屈伸、その力を利用して、はい、袖釣り込み、いわゆる右に組んで左技をかけるんだから、非常に奇襲戦法みたいな技で、この袖左に上げた手、いわゆる、右手をで相手の右腕を突き上げるようにして、ああいう具合に上げて、相手の体は完全に浮いてしまうわけ。はい、ここでした。はい、こうした。あ、これは釣り腰。釣り込み腰とも大きい人がかけるような釣り込みですが、一応釣り腰と名前つけます。上から釣り上げる。こうして見ていただきますと、小さい人を投げる場合、先ほどの釣り込みみたいに脇に入れることできませんから、上からこのように釣り上げる。こうして釣り上げて腰を入れて投げる。釣り腰。腰と足のバネで投げる技、上体を密着させるっていうことと、支えの足の膝を軽く曲げる。軽く曲げる。その反動、上といわゆる下に曲げた支えの足の膝を軽く曲げて、膝より下のところに密着させる。曲げて膝の下にあっこに密着させて跳ね上げる。上を引きつけて、そして密着させて跳ね上げる。それで釣り込み足。 言ったように上のこの腕の繰り込み、それからこの腕の繰り込みといわゆる下の足の位置、この位置、あれでつま先がわずかに内になって、それでかかり込みになる。支え釣り込み足。払い釣り込み足。こういうように移動するときに一歩余計出す、半歩ほど余計出して大きくいわゆる反動をつけて相手の、を払って釣り込みで投げる。下腹部、この時大事なのは、はい、これで大きく一歩踏み出します。そして投げる。オーストガイ。右後ろ隅に相手を崩すんですが、その方向に自分のつま先の方向、つま先の向いている方向、その方向に全部の力を持っている。右手もああいう具合に相手の正中線を壊す。足の方もあの方向に持っていく。そしてつま先からかかとの方に刈り込む。これは二宮選手の独特のオーストラリア。小さい人にかけるときに右手が下からいけませんから、ああいうふうに上から吊り上げて持っていく。そうすると下からいった場合と同じ効果になるわけです。こう吊り上げてるわけです。吊り上げて投げる。これは宮田選手のオースト車でございますね。こう小外で行きながら、それで大きく体入っていく。これ車、オースト、最低もオースト車みたいな感じになる。園田選手のオーストがあり、この人のは左のオーストに入っておりますが、左の手首で巻き上げるような仕草を持っていって壊しております。それで一番この人の特徴は、この左の襟を持った方の手、はい、巻き上げるようにして相手を壊している。これが彼の一番独特のオーストラリア。はい、ここですね。これでぐーっと自分の方に引きながら持って上に上げていく。巻き上げていくような感じで相手を。これは園田弟のスピードとタイミング、全身の力を一箇所に集めると申しますか、ダイナミックなオーストラリア。オースト落とし。小外刈り。出てきて相手が下がるとこに半歩ほど大きく踏み込んでいく。はい、ここで踏み込んで相手を外側の足を裏になして土踏まずのところで相手の外側のくるぶしのところを刈っていくわけ。このように刈っていくわけ。はい、これは岡野選手独特の二段なバネのコストがあり、大きくこれで巻くようにして壊しながら1回払ってまた2回に払って投げる。今度は足のところですね。はい、向こうの足までかかってしまう。大違い。支えの足の位置と刈るところの位置、非常に低く刈らなければいけません。はい、この支えの位置、それから軽い足のところ、低く刈って。篠巻選手の大違い。これは自分の体重を利用した大違いで、大内刈りというよりも、もちろん大内落としみたいな感じ、押し付けるみたいな感じでないと。自分の重心をぐーっと低く下げながら、大内で落としている。この低く下げるところが特徴です。こう違い。鎌で相手をなぎ倒すような 感じで狩るわけですから、畳にスレスレにいわゆる返した足首を持っていくわけですね。はい、ここです。ここ一番低い石のところに投げる。はい、捨て身小打ち、小打ち落としとも申します。はい、ここして押していく、肩口にかけて押していく、それから寝技に入る。この技はほとんど持っていって今みたいになっておりますが、こうして押して肩口から押して、そして寝技に行く。はい、そこで寝技に行く。膝車。この技は支えの足を相手の体側から少し大きく離す。そして膝に当てて来る膝を起点にして投げる技。支える方の足の位置というものが必ずちょっと大きく離れてしまいます。そして必ずこのように今見たようにつま先は必ず内側に持っていく。出足払い。相手が出ようとする瞬間、外唇、外くるぶしを払うような気持ちで投げる。それから支えの足の位置、ここが大事なところ。これは天理大学の金選手なんですが、この人の出足払いは、柔道界の手法とも申すようないわゆる美技なんですね。これはもう説明するんじゃなくて黙って見ていた方がいいんじゃないかというような芸術品。タイミングのこのタイミングの良さを、これは練習、たくさん練習することでしかこれを把握することはできません。はい、内股。内股の足の位置、この位置が相手の両足先の内にならなきゃいけません。これが時々外側になる人がおりますが、そういう人はほとんどかかりませんから、なるべく踏み込む場所、位置というものを練習の時一番把握する必要があると思います。それからあとは引き手も何もほとんど他のいわゆる跳ね腰、そういうことと一緒みたいな引き手がやっておりますから、この踏み込む飛び込む位置、これを非常に練習する。これは川端選手の飛び込みの内股。彼独特の、内股でこうして押していきながら一歩半ほど相手より早く支えの軸足を持っていって飛び込んでいくわけですね。そして相手を非常にその華麗にな技に派手に見える。こういう技もいわゆる練習のいわゆるたくさん練習することによってしか出てこないわけです。小さい人が大きい人にかけるに最適の技で、今やりましたように深く入り込んで、体の一番中心点を足のひらを持っていって多く飛ばして、これ一番大切なことで、よく見られますように足で相手を押して、それから出てくるところに足を深く踏んで、それから 真ん中のところにで相手を倒す。それで後の姿勢、腰を跳ねたところがある。これは、他の選手独特の巴投げ。これは寝技に行く段階における巴投げと思われた方がいいんじゃないかと思うのは、ほとんどこれが一本にはあまりなりにくい技。寝技に行くには一番横に倒しますから、一番入りやすい姿勢になる。横にぐっと踏み込んでいって横に倒す。裏投げ。この技は大きく掴みかかってくるところ、ぐっと自分が大きく踏み込んでいって腰の下に入り込んで自分の肩口に向かって投げている。はい、あそこ飛びかかっていく。横が。この技は自分の体を一本の棒のまっすぐな棒の感じで相手を足前とぶっつけて相手をはい引き出して支えの足の位置、それから一本の棒のごとくぶっつけて払っていく。そして自分の手を体を捨てて投げる。この技は相手が技をかけてくる内股払い腰、そういうような技をかけてくるときに、一回それを受け止める。はい、受け止めて大きく中に踏み込んで、ここで受け止める。それからぐーっと足の中に入れて相手を飛ばす。この技は相手をああいうように押して相手が出てくるところをぐっと自分の体を落とす。はい、押して出てくるとグッと落とす。そして相手を自分の左足を支えにして飛び越せないようにぐっと下に引きつけて落とすという真下に落とす。この技は相手が内股あるいはそういうような技がかけてきた時に外側からああいう具合に相手の股に手を入れる。そして自分の腰を落として今度は自分の腰に引きつける。引きつけて相手をもろに倒す。はい、そうですね。この技は小内刈りかけてきた。そのかけられた足から支えている自分の右足のすぐ重心を移して相手の足を払う。重心をすぐ移す。ここが一番大事。小内刈り。小内もさっきのと一緒に自分の重心を移すと。その同時に支えの足のつま先がずっと内側に食い込むとああいうように非常に返しやすい。はい。内股すかしはかけてきた。一番大事なことは自分の両足を一直線上に持っていくということは体を開くということですね。こういう開く。そして相手をガスの勢いで開かれたものですから空を切って飛んでいく。はい、開きます。この技は相手が足払いかけてきた。それを足を空を切らしながらその足を払っていく。はい、これ空を切らす。それで勢いで相手を引いて飛んでいく。背負いから小内の上。背負いかけると相手はどうしても後ろの方に重心を。その時に小内をかける。前に後ろに重心を持っていく。 後ろに弱くなったところでそこで小内を持っていく。それでこういう技は両方どちらの技も効かなければ効かない。次は後ろに大内をかけて、それ前にと先の技と反対にの原理で、こういう技は両方、例えばこれは大内、今度は背負い、この両方の技が効かなければこういう連絡ができないわけですね。いや、大内を持って前に来るところ、いわゆる後ろ直して、後ろが投げられるの困るから前に止まる、そこに手落としをこう連絡がね。次はオーストを持っていって前に頑張られる。オーストを持っていったら前に頑張りますから、頑張られたら支えの軸足をぐっとあのようにつま先を外に開くと払い腰になる。巴投げをかける。相手は腰を落とす。その時に腰を落とし、かつ手で突っ張る。そういう時にこの十字固めを関節技を持つ。手を突っ張る。はい、そこで十字固め。はい、ここで。これは寝技に体さばきの寝技に入り方の体さばきですから、右にこういうふうに入っていくわけですが、非常に腰で入る。腰が一緒についていってる。これついていかなきゃダメ。はい、これは両足をさばいて入っていく。両足を揃えてさばくて。はい、揃えてさばいて。はい、さばいて。はい。今度は両足を両手でああいう具合に制しながら、全然動きが取れないようにしながら、じわじわじわじわと上の方にああいう具合に登っていく。そして押さえる。片足をかける。ああいうふうに直角よりも非常にきつく、それから右足で相手の足を制す。それから襟を取った手を制し、全部の自分の両手、あるいは両足を全部使っているわけですね。はい、ここで右足相手の足を制しております。それから襟を取って、肩を固めて入っている。今度は両足を上に持ち上げて、向こうの場合膝で相手の右手を殺しております。それから手で手を殺しながら入っている。両手を完全に制しちゃうわけですね。そしたら身動きが取れない。相手が上から来る。右手を相手の手を出た手を完全にああいうように殺してしまって、これは手を殺します。はい、相手の左手をぐっと殺してしまって、それから足を内側に今度は入れて、下から入れて帯をと。それで完全に相手は肩口からこう弱くなっているところにこういうふうに返していくわけですね。それから押さえに。今度は上から来た人を腕絡みと。腕絡みで制してしまって、下からひっくり返す。そして押さえる。腕絡みでひっくり返す。それから押さえる。今度は内股、中の方に入りながら入って、そして一本の線になる。はい、こうして自分と同方向になって、はい、ぐっと。さ固め、脇、腕を取り方、脇にピシッとこう胸を張ってはめる。そして、こういうようにぐっと抱え込む、抱き込む。そして自分の横の腰、全部の横腰が体相手に密着させる。それで右手はああいうふうに首を抱きかかえる。 そして頭をわずかに下げる。で重心を前に移す。これは脇に入る崩れ下座。この場合大事なことは、右手は手の接し方は一緒ですが、あのように手のひらが外に向かって開いている。そうすると鉄砲なんかで返される場合に返らないっていうことですね。これは、膝固めの逃げ方ですが、ああいう具合に自分の方に引きつけ、帯を取って引きつけながら逃げる。これ枕下座。今度は、これ後ろ下座。前から、引き手の方を前から取ってる、ね。前から取っている後ろ下座。後ろ下座の逃げ方。鉄砲、ブリッジしながら逃げる。今度は、後ろ下座。後ろ下座の手を後ろの方から、背中の方からこういう具合に取る。取ってやる。横潮固め。横潮固めで大事なことは、いわゆる今の右手、脊髄に沿ってこれを必ず取るということですね。ここですね。それから、左手は掴めるところ、一番深く掴む。そして、肩口を確実に上がるように押さえる。これは今の横潮の逃げ方やっておりますが、逃げて頭を下げて、そしてこういう具合にいくと、これは後でもありますが横三角になります。今度は足を入れて逃げる。手を入れて足の力で間隙を作って自分の体をひねる。崩れる横潮。この横潮は鉄砲には非常に強い。ここで手が向こう側になっておりますから、こちらの方に鉄砲返しなきゃ非常に強い横潮。上潮固め。これは両脇で確実に横帯を取って、頭をつける。これは逃げ方。ああいうように手に足をかせさせて、それで間隙を作りながら、横に逃げる。崩れゆく潮。この襟を取りながら、襟をああいう具合に取る。それからこちらの方は先ほども一緒で脊髄に沿って取る。そうすると脇が非常に決まってくる。はい、もう一回。はい、ああいうように襟を取りまして、それからこれは内側脇をこう取る。そうすると脇が締まる。よく脇が締まるっていうのはこういうことを言う。はい、これは逃げ方。ああいうように肩口で押さえていって頭を抜いて逃げる。肩口、いわゆる手の方は帯を押さえて相手をずーっと向こうに押す。それと同時に肩で相手の横顔面を押しながら、そこに間隙を作る。間隙を作ったら今度は向こう側に相手を押す。そうすると首が抜ける。それで押し返る。縦潮固め。あれに肩で制してしまう。首で相手の手を制するから、非常に厚く肩固めと同じですね、なってしまう。これで起きられる。今度は逃げ方ですが、ああいうように両手を使って逃げる。はい、縦潮、さっきは縦潮を両肩で一緒にしました。今度は腕の中で手を取ってしまっているわけですね。肩固めは斜め前方。 斜め前方に手を持っていくということが一番大事なよ。肩口から自分のつま先の延長線上に持っていく。自分の左肩からつま先の延長線上の方に相手の手を持っていって力を加える。逃げ方はああいうように両手でぐっと開いて間隙を作って引くからです。締め技波十字。親指が内側に入って、今度は、逆十字。親指が、親指4本の指が内側に入る。それで引き絞るように締めていく。この逃げ方なんですが、こういうように入ってくるのを上に来た手、利き腕ですね。いわゆる利き腕の方の肘を押さえる。今こう、逆十字に入っておりますが、今度入る手が利き腕になりますね。この手の、袖、肘のとこをぐーっと押さえる。そしてその間隙を作って相手から逃げるわけですね。送り襟。これを袖、襟口をぐっと引き絞る。そしてこういうように、はい、こちらもずっと絞っていく。そしたら相手の首に密着してしまうわけですね。襟がこちらもずっと下に持って、そして、手を引くと同時に自分の肩をぐーっと前に出す。そうするとよくします。これは送り襟の変形、一応横締めとも言いますが、送り襟をこう取って、今度はもちろん相手を反対側の襟を取って、自分の肩口、相手の肩口の方に胸でぐーっと押さえていく。そして手を絞る。そうします。裸かち。喉仏のところを、いわゆる一番自分の手首の小さい細いところでグッと肩をと一緒に同時に前から押す。肩上げ。ああいうふうに肩口から手の肘のとこからグッと押し込む。これは全部の逃げ方ですが、ああいうふうに、袖を握って袖を下に引きながら、はい、今度締めてきます。締めてきますが、この締めてくるときにここで袖を取る。そしてずーっと下に引き絞る。ずーっと脇を締めて引き絞って、引き絞りながら間隙を作ったときに自分の顔を左に向けるわけですね。そして抜く。三角締め。はい、このガッと持っていったいわゆる左膝、これが大事です。でこれは逃げ方ですが、いわゆる自分かかっているような相手の一番前に来てる足に重心をぐーっと押し付けていって逃げるんですね。後ろに引いちゃったら閉まるわ。前に行かなきゃ閉まる。横三角。はい、横にぐっと横顔面を下に押し付けながら、その手で足でぐっとそれを取ってしまい、はい、ここで足で取って相手の手を引っ張る。はい、これでしまう。地獄。ああいうふうに足で、いわゆる相手の手を制し、それから自分の頭の方向に引くか、それで締めるわけですが、これは今こうやっております。足で取った、取りました。それから自分の頭の方向に回転していくわけですね。そして襟をその時取る。それから締めていく。それで足をこう今切り替えましたが、切り替えると角度が非常に締めやすい角度になる。それでも締まらん場合、切り替えたその足を相手の首に横顔面に持っていって押し付ける。そうすると、なおかつよく締まるわけです。 これは今足の切り替えのとこを映しております。はい、ああいうように切り替えて、そしてぐーっと相手を下げて、あの足を横顔面に持っていく。はい、これ相手がよく締めてくるときに、寝技の時よくある技ですが、脇の下から相手の襟を取るっていうことです。これですね。これを軽く取って締めるっていうことは見せつけないようにしてこれ締めるわけです。でグワッと、そして足で蹴る。蹴ると相手は防ぎようがなくたってうつ伏せになって、そこを締める。はい、逆十字、十字型ね。一応大事なことは両脇で締める。でこれは手の取り方をやっておりますが、ああいうように手首といわゆる手の甲も一緒に取るっていうことが大事なことで、手首だけ握っていた場合には、こういうように手首だけ握って相手を締める場合に、手首を手の甲だけをぐーっと回り込ませると、いわゆる肘関節っていうのがぐるぐるっとああいうふうに回ってまいります。回ってくると今度は取れなくなる。回りながら肩をぐーっと抜いていくわけ。引きながら抜いていってるわけ。そしたら、ずっと相手の体と捉え手の体が一直線上になる。そうするとああいうふうに逃げられるわけですね。で腕絡み。そしてこういう場合によく多いんですが、腕絡み。脇の、肩口から取った手、これは腕固め。で腕絡みは相手曲げてるような、ああいう曲げてるのを腕絡み取れる。腕絡みグッと取れる。今度相手が腕絡み取られるの嫌さに、ある程度下の方にずらす手を、腕絡み取られるとずらすから、そのずらしたところを利用しながら肘を前に出して腕固めに持っていく。膝固め。これはグッと相手を引きつけて、そして手を固定させて自分の足を伸ばして膝で固めて関節をすると。はい、そこで腕。はい。そこで固定させるってことが大事。